Hey, phony homies! On today's episode, we discuss Week 5's big injuries, Week 6 waiver wire, ads, drops, our studs and duds, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's go! Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guys Show. My name is Giancarlo Campos, and alongside me is the one and only, the best co-host of all time, Dustin DL Lingaman. Oh, beautiful. What's up, DL?
What's up, my guy?
A happy Connor Bedard day. I see you are.
Yes.
I love it. What's the score of the game?
Hey. Last time I checked, I think it's 2-1. So the Hawks are down by a goal.
Okay.
But we'll see. Connor Bernard looks great.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, young defense. We were chatting it up with Ben before we started. So yeah, man, I'm just excited. Something new to get excited about, So if the Bears aren't doing the good stuff, which they did this past week, but I got something else to kind of look into, and the bowl season's starting soon too.
Yeah,
so
it's all
love winners. It's great.
Can't wait. Super excited. Cannot wait. But let's look into some fantasy. DL, as a reminder on the show, people can follow us on Twitter, DL, if they'd like to. Where can they follow us?
At TweetFFG.
Fantastic. I love it. And they can ask us any questions. We love getting those questions. We want to get it trending. What is the hashtag that the phony homies can use if they want to ask us questions, DL?
Ask us FFG.
Beautiful. Look at that. You got it down pat. You're not even looking at a script.
No, I'm not.
No script cards here. We just got it up here.
Well,
as always, if you prefer, if one of your uncles or one of my aunts or somebody wants to send an email, because that's more their speed, they can send those emails, DL, where?
AskUsFFG@gmail.com.
And if they would like, they, I guess, can leave me a voicemail. They can send me something here. I'll listen. We'll play their voice on the show live. DL, where can they send the voicemail?
Oh, yeah. Area code 708-655-4508. All data charges and messages are charged to you.
To me, I think all data charges and message rates apply.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to be cool. Didn't work.
I got you. It was cool. But as always, DL, and all the phony homies out there, anyone watching, wherever you may be, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and
smash
that notification button so that you know when we go live. The notification button's a little bell. You click it, a little drop down comes up, and then you click on all. And then anytime we go live, it sends you a little notey and it says, hey, these two dweebs are live. You can watch them right away.
Yeah.
Here we are. You can see our faces.
And hopefully you listened to us this past week.
Yeah, you did, because we gave a lot of good info. Yeah, a lot of really good info. And if you want to listen to us, we are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere that you get your podcast. We're there. Yeah.
And we're streaming live on, like you said, Facebook and YouTube right now, and Twitter. Don't forget that. Getting that tweet count up. All right, cool.
We're everywhere. DL, we have some new followers, some new viewers. In what country was it?
Germany. Germany was awesome.
In Germany. They love us in Germany.
We're at 8%. We're at 8%.
I don't know. Who do you know? How did that happen? One of your uncles?
No, yeah, the Lingamans.
Oh, hey, there it is. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, Mark B jumped into our chat real quick, and he's talking about. Go ahead.
He's saying people are Blackhawks fans again?
Yeah.
How cute. What a hater. What a hater. Some of us don't jump off the bandwagon like others.
Yeah, bro.
Do.
Yeah, I don't want to see you at the parade.
Exactly. I wouldn't.
Better not be there, Mark. Because if you're there, I won't call you out and take your picture.
Yeah, what's up, Mark? Jump on the bandwagon now while you still got a chance. Yeah, they just took the number 1 overall pick, Connor Bedard.
You were there when they sucked. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Just haters being haters,
I know, man. Just trying to live my best life here.
Saying everyone's got to pee in your Cheerios,
Yeah, he was probably a Patriots fan. So
yeah, probably. Okay. Or a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have another jam-packed show for you guys today. let's get started with this past week's performances. DL,
Yes.
who were your studs? Who were your duds? What happened?
Oh, bro. Okay. So last week we kind of ripped on JC because he's like, oh, why would you start Justin Fields or DJ Moore or Cole Kmet? I started him again this week, and I started him again, and I'm pretty sure if you started him, phony homies, you yourself have a big old grin on your face because they went off on Thursday night. So my studs, obviously, Justin Fields for 282 yards, four passing TDs, 11 rushing attempts for 57 yards. 3 of those TDs actually went to DJ Moore for 8 receptions, 230 yards, and 10 targets. Some other awesome mentionables, I would say, is Breece Hall, 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 17 yards receiving. One that I was really happy and shocked by was Dallas freaking finally Goddard went for 117.
Finally,
right, dude. I was ready to honestly bench him. I really was.
You were gonna give him that certain somebody treatment. We'll get to it.
Anyways. So yeah, he did it, man. 117 yards for 1 receiving touchdown. There was a beautiful pass. I think it went for 57 yards. It was blowing up on my phone. And the best part of this week is I was playing against two, count them, 2 Bears fans. One of them happened to be my brother-in-law, and the other one was actually you're gonna meet him in a second. His name's Ben. Anyways,
can't wait to meet him.
Also, David Montgomery, 109 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 receiving yards for 20 yards. He's having a great year. Duds for this week. Justin Jefferson, I didn't really want to put him on there because he got injured, so I can't really say whatever. But yeah, it's only 28 yards receiving. And Ramondre should be cut Stevenson.
Get out of here,
dude!
these guys.
Dude, 24 yards rushing. He hasn't do something. The stick. The thing that you're always talking about? Do something. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. But that's it for me.
I got you. Yeah, man, I had some studs. Josh Allen was one of my studs. Again, I'm in 13 fantasy leagues, so I have him in one singular league, and he went off 359 passing yards and 3 total touchdowns. Pretty cool. Happy to have a quarterback perform. I also did have Anthony Richardson, opposite side, one of my duds. He got hurt, so I'm not going to call him it. I'm not going to call him a dud. It's not his fault, but kind of just what happened. Another one of my studs is Travis Etienne Jr. He had 136 rushing yards from scrimmage and 2 total touchdowns. Had a big week, gave me 30-plus points, which is awesome in one of those leagues, and I lost with his 30-plus points. I also lost with DJ Moore, who scored 50-plus fantasy points. I lost, but that's because I started Anthony Richardson, and he got hurt, so that didn't really help.
Sounds familiar.
Defense, who's a dud, yeah. I think I recommended him last week. Failed on that. Lastly, Jamar Chase. He had 15 total receptions. 15 total receptions. But dart season, baby, from the Viet Bong. Love to see it.
Getting better at this.
My last stud, Dio, a guy, he who should not be named, not Voldemort. No, Kyle Pitts.
What?
Kyle Pitts renaissance is here.
Wow.
He's finally back. And I did start him.
You will.
7 receptions for 87 receiving yards. If he wouldn't have done anything this week, I would have, fully benched him and then cut him probably a week later. But it was good to see. He showed signs of life, and I didn't think he had it in him. But there he is. He's right here. Started him right after DJ Moore. Probably he looks backwards, but yeah. So those were my studs, and those were your duds, and that's kind of how the week went. DL.
Yeah. So you
I'm not gonna
lost.
lie, these comments are so cool.
I know. I'm just excited. I was like, oh, someone's on. Okay.
Yeah, real cool. But yeah, we got to go back to one of our new segments. It's time for the winner's circle. And who are we talking to this week?
This week we have the joy of speaking to my really, really great friend. He actually was in my wedding, stood up in my wedding, been a part of our league since the early 2014. He beat me one time in 2015, but ever since, I've been whooping that ass. So let's get a warm welcome to the number 1 fan of our channel, Ben.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, what up, my guy?
What's up? Hey.
What's up, Ben?
What's up, guys?
So, Ben, it's been a crazy week.
It has.
How did you do against Dustin?
Well, I didn't do great, as Dustin already pointed out. Definitely, it was also had the Anthony Richardson quarterback syndrome as well. Unfortunately, hopefully he's going to be okay, but definitely is out at least another week or so. But all I needed was a Straber, and again, not getting those points really hurt me because I could have done something against Dustin, but as he mentioned before, it has been a while since I've beaten him, and it hurts every time.
Yeah, man. It hurts. It hurts.
Yes, it does.
I mean, let's talk about it though. You were in first place though, right? In the
first 3 weeks actually, best team in the league. Yeah, absolutely.
So where do you feel your team's kind of nosediving at?
Running back for sure. Definitely running back. Mixon hasn't really been playing well this year outside of this last week. And
would you be willing to move him by chance?
I'm willing and open to all trades for running backs moving forward, because if I had a better running back, I feel I'd be much better off, because again, I feel I have a great roster and it showed. So it's just some bumps in the road. I mean, Dustin,
I just throw it out there because we're live. I have an Alexander Madison here waiting with your name on him, then a Roshan Johnson I'd be willing to throw in.
Okay.
For Joe Mixon, just throwing it out there.
Cool.
Right,
talk offline.
We shall talk offline then.
All right, cool. Sounds good for me.
Yeah, man. Just looking at your roster is pretty good. I am seeing that you started. What was it? I want to make sure I don't say Robinson. B. Robinson. I know I'm going to say Brian Robinson. I always say, anyways. I thought he was going to do pretty well against the Bears as well. I started him in the other league, and yeah, he sucked. He did not.
Yeah, not so much.
Did you feel like Washington felt like the Bears were going to be a trap game? Like, was that like one of your things?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, the Bears have looked just terrible this year outside of some offensive brilliance against the Broncos last week, and aside again from the fumble for a touchdown type thing that ruined the game. But again, their offense looks like really good. Their defense has been pretty terrible in general. So, and Washington has looked good last couple times. I mean, they came back a few weeks ago too. So, I mean, again, that offense is just humming when they're not playing great defenses. So, but yeah, I don't know. Then the Bears surprises this week big time with a blowout win too. So that was probably the most surprising of it all.
Do you think they turned it? Do you think they turned the corner? Do you think, like, going forward, like, hey, Justin Fields is going to be what we hoped he was going to be? I'm not saying the defense is going to be that great, but do you think the offense is going to honestly take off?
I'm going to go with a no, because I'm not a fan of Fields in general. He's thrown from the pocket the last few weeks, which looks positive, but just not a fan of Fields in general.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're out on him, huh?
I am. Yeah.
Wow. He's a true Chicagoan.
I am. No, again, I want to be high on him, but again, he's a quarterback who needs to throw from the pocket. Again, he's done that the last 2 weeks and looks phenomenal because of it. 8 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I mean, come on. But that's just 2 weeks. And last time I checked, this is our first win since the last season.
Yeah.
No. Because you're right. That's right.
I am right. I know.
Go ahead, JC. Hit him with it. Hit him with a.
Were you? I just want to get an idea of your fandom a little bit.
Please.
You've been a Bears fan your whole life, since you could remember.
Whole life.
Since Italian beefs were dipped, you've been a.
Yeah, Bears. I mean, I was alive for the mighty '85 Bears, but I mean,
damn. Okay. I'm gonna guess you were a very big supporter of Kyle Orton over Rex Grossman.
Absolutely.
I knew it. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that you were a what's his name? Josh McCown fan over Jay Cutler?
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's Jay Cutler.
Okay,
yeah,
that was the one.
Cutler's got an arm. He just has terrible decision making. So I mean, that's his issue.
But that's what McCown had over him, isn't it? The decision making.
Yeah, but McCown isn't a good quarterback. Again, he's not a starting quarterback.
Okay. And now we get to Fields, and I'm gonna guess you weren't a Trubisky supporter either.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely. Fields is definitely a step up from Trubisky for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you're somebody who doesn't believe in quarterbacks that run. Like you think that's like a negligible skill? You're like, oh, you got to pass.
No. I actually prefer when quarterbacks can do that. I'm not affected at all by them. I'm just talking about Justin Fields in general and his makeup.
Okay.
Again, being a quarterback and being a running quarterback, again, Lamar Jackson struggles from this as well, throwing from the pocket. Again, you have legs, you got the room for it. But again, I don't need you rushing for 1,000 yards a year. You're a quarterback.
Hold on.
Jackson, you would want him for MVP? You wouldn't want him?
Who, Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I would take Lamar Jackson in a heartbeat.
Can I interject? I just want to interject here because I feel like as a Chicago fan or a sports fan in general, right? I feel like there's this constant need where
backup quarterback?
No, it just automatically, okay, year 3, they're not there. Okay, get rid of them. I mean, if you look way back when in the 90s with like Troy Aikman, look at his rookie year. Look at season 2.
Over for a long time.
He was like horrible, like god awful. Look at Peyton Manning. God awful, and everyone's like quick to pull that trigger and like wants the shiny new toy, and they're not willing to develop their quarterback. Drew Brees, another example.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my biggest thing about like Chicago fans in general, and I've been guilty of it too. We want it right away because we're itching. We think once we get the quarterback, that's it. We're gonna go, and it's gonna be 1985 all over again. And I don't believe that. I think Justin Fields is a spectacular athlete. Like, look at last year. Everyone loved the way that he was running. He broke records. The man broke records. And if you look at his statistics side by side of Patrick Mahomes or anyone else, this year, he's right next to him. There's nobody that, like, everyone's just so down. It's the Chicago thing, not a national thing. A national thing, everyone's like, holy cow, the Bears found it. But in Chicago, we're like, we want Caleb Williams. Let's go, Carolina. Lose it again.
Hold on.
All right. Rant over.
Good. That's good, though. You said 2 really big things. Okay. The first is huge, though. No, you said on the rant, you said 2 really big things I want to address. He is playing like a top quarterback. He is tied for second with the most passing touchdowns. Rushing yards, he's like number 3. He's killing it right now. His QBR is fantastic. Get rid of the McCaskies. That's an interesting take. We may get into that.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, here's the second thing that you said, Dustin. That's I want to touch because I know we're all really big Bears fans here. Let's talk about Caleb Williams a little bit. Let's say that the Carolina Panthers get the number, like they become the worst team in the NFL, and they give us by, the luck that we got by grabbing the first round pick. We get the first round pick from them, and Caleb Williams is sitting there. What are you doing as a Bears fan? Let's say that Justin Fields continues on this trajectory. Let me throw that to Ben. Ben, what are you doing if Justin Fields continues on this trajectory and we have the number 1 overall pick?
Well, I definitely would probably go with defensive back or an offensive lineman. I mean, we would need a quarterback.
So you'd be okay with Justin then if he continues like this?
Yes. Again, all I need Justin to do is throw from the pocket. Show me you can be consistent from the pocket, because then not only you're opening up the running lanes, but then you're opening up lanes for yourself and everyone else. And if we have healthy running backs, we were the number 1 running offense a few years ago with Justin Fields. But again, as much as you guys like him running this, running that, then there, again, all these touchdowns and records that he's breaking ain't mean nothing when he's injured. Because once he crosses that line of scrimmage, it's free go for any defensive player. And trust me, no one likes quarterbacks.
I got 2 things. Number 1, keep in mind the first month of football is an extended preseason.
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Remember that. There's that. Takes offenses a little bit longer to kind of gel. All right. Number 1. Number 2, is it really Justin Fields not doing what he's being asked, or is it Getsy who screens a whole bunch of screening passes and not utilizing his abilities? So you can't put it all on Justin. Like, I feel like a lot of people are giving like Getsy kind of like, it's okay. I think they're both to blame. I don't think it's one or the other, but I think, we really have to think about like playing to he's a ridiculous athlete. Like ridiculous. And they let him go. There's rumors that they're going to trade him over to Atlanta.
Yep.
I was like, oh, hell no.
Yep.
Because the next new shiny toy may not be the answer. We've been bitten by this bug We can't get off this roller coaster. And I'll leave you with that. That's all I have to say. Because we should actually do a Bears podcast. We should do a spinoff because this takes like 20 minutes, and half of these people are like, "Okay,
we don't have enough time for this."
Here's what I'll say. Let me put the ball.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I hope he continues on this trajectory. I don't know if he will. I think Caleb Williams is a can't miss prospect.
Really? Because
I think he's got the ability to be top five.
You know what I heard on the score today? I heard the people that like aren't fans of him are saying nothing. Nobody is saying anything like about the bad stuff. There are some bad things about him, and they're hoping that everyone bites on it so they can actually get the guy that they want. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go into it. Moving on. We were talking about offline, Ben. We were talking about this offline because JC did not receive the belt when he won.
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago, because it wasn't last year. It was Lauren.
I found this out. It's very sad. Very sad to hear.
And it was Rudd who was honored. John Rudd, who literally was on a couple weeks ago. My thoughts are this: you mentioned some good things. What would be a good punishment since he did not? Or what are your thoughts about winning a championship but not getting the belt?
Well, my first thoughts are egregious, terrible. Again, responsibility.
Let's go.
Send the belt to the next winner after there. You don't get it for an extra year. Again, if you would have won, then that's a different story, but you didn't. But also, again, there should be some sort of punishment, if I can say so. An idea that I thought about, we used to do this back in my fraternity when I was in college back in the day, where if you do something for the week and it's everyone votes and it's just the best story and how crappy or what you got, you would have to chug a bottle of booze farm, which is probably yay high, but you not only you're chugging it, but you're also chugging it in a circle while people are chanting or whatnot around you.
Any particular flavors? I kind of like strawberry.
It would be the worst flavors ideally. But you also got to make sure that it's chilled. Very important because, again, warm Boone's Farm, that's not fun for anybody.
Well, you should be a jerk.
Well, you should. Yes. And, again, I agree it should be warm for Mr. Rudd, but that's just being a bit cruel. But you also kept the belt for an extra year, so.
Ooh.
Malort. Okay, I like that. Malort,
I do like, yeah. Okay. I like Malort.
I like Malort, too. And
Malort's a good one.
No bottle. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm somewhat of a Malort connoisseur here. I brought Malort to my girlfriend's house. Well, I'll tell you a reason.
Connoisseur.
Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah,
I want to give a shout out to a bar, to a little brewery. There's a brewery in Villa Park called Lunar Brewing. And everyone always goes to more brewing in Villa Park, but the real cool brewery, the one that's been there for the longest, the one that's got the tradition, the one that makes really good beers as well, and sells the most Malort in the state of Illinois is called Lunar Brewing. They also brew beers with Malort in them. Oh. So they have like 5 or 6 different Malorts, some made in home and like in house. They have ones with sport peppers in them. They have all kinds of crazy. Yeah, I know.
What?
When you go there, it's kind of a tradition to have shots of Malorts with the locals. They will literally buy you Malorts. Like if you say, I've never had a Malort, shot, everyone.
So
it's
gross.
Pretty cool, awesome tradition. I got to take you guys. It would be awesome to take you guys. But I love Malort. Since then, I've been bringing Malort to family parties. And it's always like a cool kind of gag thing. But Malort's cool. I like Malort. I get down with some.
We got some. I asked the phony homies in the chat like what they should do. This one comes from DC235, and he said, "You have to go to a German bar and take a public spanking in a dress."
In a dress. Oh,
I like that.
Yeah,
okay. I like that.
I like that. A little bit of humiliation is good. I don't like these like you got to get a tattoo kind of thing. I'm not.
No. Or just like hold a sign like I suck at fantasy. So that was the other thing too. Should we moving forward in a league? If you're dead last, you have to, get a punishment or you have to do something.
And this is for the end of the season?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I think the loser should do something, or maybe they get a little trophy or something like the participation trophy or something. No, they don't deserve a trophy. Yeah, I'd have to think about that again. The whole dress thing, and I mean that's just something for everyone. I'm not a fan of it, but because one, I don't ever want to do it.
That's the point.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's the point.
I'm not doing it.
What I'm thinking about, we should get some sort of on the text chain, whatnot. Start figuring out. The Shiva, like doing some with the Shiva.
Yeah.
The league. Yeah, they used to do a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe we should watch that show and get some ideas from them because they were pretty brutal.
Oh, brutal.
They're brutal.
Public embarrassment is just, I love it.
I'll get on Twitter, the Twitter machine or the X machine, and let's ask the phony homies about that aren't watching. And if you are, you get first grab. Top 3, we'll throw it out there, we'll pull it, and then that's what we're gonna do in our league.
Now, I do want to ask some quick questions before we let Ben go.
Yeah,
Ben,
absolutely.
I'll leave the floor to you, DL and Ben. How did you guys meet? How do you guys know each other? How did you guys get into this league?
Okay, I'll start it.
Okay.
So Ben and I, our first jobs, I would say, as young men, was working at AT&T, and we went door to door and sold cable. We sold AT&T Uverse, straight commission, and Ben was actually on my team, and we grew that misery. We became brothers. So yeah, just a bunch of good old boys for sure. And then from there, I started a league in 2014, and it started out small. We only had 8. It was super small.
Yeah, it was very, 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 very small.
Or maybe even 6. Could have been that small.
Yeah, no, I think 8, and then we got up to 12, and then we dropped down back to 10. It's been a flow, been a door open and closed with a lot of people, but it's been fun. I mean, and then we brought the belt on. Which of course makes me always happy to do, and then again winning the championship and being able to show people about the belt. That's what I'm planning to do this year. So,
it's funny because I brought this up to JC. In our league, no one has won it twice yet, and we started in 2014. That's crazy.
No one has, right?
10 years. So I want to see if that breaks this year, because it probably will. Because I'll start it, and then like you did when we first started, you can win after me. And we'll just keep it going from there. But yeah, that's how we started. Ben's a great guy, like I said. Huge part of many moments in my life. You were at my wedding. He stood up there.
Fun. What was it? I was in downtown Chicago, the Tribune building.
Yeah, the Tribune Tower. Yes, sir. And best wedding ever. Best wedding ever.
Awesome.
Obviously, for me.
Obviously. But again, starting a little family as well with Jess and those 2 little adorable girls of yours, and you're just getting outnumbered, buddy. So
yes, I am. I'm gonna get a dog, and I'm gonna name him Buttkiss. I'm gonna name him Buttkiss.
Nice.
Speaking of which, Ben,
I love it.
What I mean we got to bring this up. Dick Buttkiss passed away. Historic bear. Any fond memories or anything that you remember? I mean, obviously we were alive when he was playing, but what are your thoughts on Dick Buttkiss? What's your favorite memory?
Just a legend in general. I mean, and not just a huge legend in general, but a Chicago legend. And everyone, I mean, he would walk around in Chicago and just own the city because, again, he did own the city because that's when the Bears were also just as good when he was playing. And he was such a great guy and so generous with his time. And whenever he was in Chicago, he was always saying hi, doing this, bear down at Soldier Field. And just him showing up at Soldier Field was always a treat. Seeing him on TV. And I did get to go to a Bears game with him there as well. They announced him, whatnot. That's maybe the closest I've ever gotten to him, but just waving his hand around in probably a straight minute or so, encore, cheering for him. I mean, he's just such a good dude, and we lost a great Bears legend for sure.
My favorite, I would say, obviously, is highlight reel. Phony Homies. If you have not seen that, Google it or go on YouTube, look it up. It's nuts. That was one of them. My second favorite memory is I reached out to him on the Twitter machine because I got Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
I got Jim McMahon to follow me. I was like, all right, I'm going to get Dick Buttkiss. I was like, hey, dude, what's up? I need a follow. We're a big fan, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, I don't care. And that was it. He just,
yes.
But he responded. And I was like, okay. I mean, he didn't zing me too bad. There's some that I've seen him like zing some really good guys, but that was definitely, I was like, okay, thanks, man. At least you weren't too mean. But those are my favorite memories.
Again, it's butt kiss, man. That's awesome. He responded. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. That's all I wanted. All right, JC.
My perspective on Dick Butkus.
Yeah,
not extensive, but I went to the University of Illinois where he was a god, and there's a statue of him, and he has a very famous quote that we would joke about. He said, "I didn't come here to play and get a statue after I was done. I really wasn't for these things." He didn't care about having a statue, but he loved being from Illinois and playing for Illinois. He was honestly a monster. When I think of linebackers, I think of Dick Butkus. I think of him. I think of Ray Lewis, Ray Nitschke. I think of these guys that I used to watch those old NFL films and the grainy footage and the music would play. And I just think of just these monsters, these men that aren't men, they're gods, and they're just, just
back when football was football.
Right. These mythical like legends that would like just rip your head off and run through a brick wall, literally. It's a sad time. But I do want to say, his legacy here in Chicago will live on because we are a very, like a history franchise. Like we have a linebacker legacy, and I feel like every 5 to 7 years we got a great linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
It always happens.
Always, yeah. Chicago.
Mm-hmm. That's what we pound out linebackers. There's other teams, or other organizations that pound out receivers, like Pittsburgh. I feel like they always have good receivers. I don't know what it is. They always have good receivers. Certain organizations just do it. And they just get it. And I think we're like linebacker factory. So, and that's led by guys like Dick Butkus. So, Dick Butkus, RIP. Little toast to Dick. That's right.
And on that note, Ben, I just want to thank you again for coming on to our show. Maybe next time when we play against each other, you'll actually win and break.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Thanks, DL. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you guys. We'll let the force be with you for next week.
Actually, we're playing against each other, JC. Did you know that?
Oh,
it's great week.
It's on.
That's what I like to hear. Sweet.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Ben. You have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
Go Blackhawks.
Go Hawks. 2-1, middle of the third.
All right.
Pittsburgh.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Peace out, man.
Later, boys.
Later. DL, we have so much left to go on this show. Let's get to it. Let's go to the news. DL, what's going on?
I'm still waiting on that one. Obviously, a lot's been going on. Number one, I just want to start things off. This morning, Justin Jefferson was placed on IR.
Ooh.
So that sucks because I have him in my 14.
Wait. We're a Bears-centric show. Who do the Vikings play this week?
The Bears.
That's right, baby. I never root for injury, but
no, it sucks because he's on IR, which means he's going to be out for 4 weeks. I have him on my 14-man deep league against my uncles. Speaking of which, my uncle, Tomas, who felt my pain and wanted to take advantage of the fact that, Justin Jefferson is out for the rest or for 4 weeks.
Listen to this.
So grade this trade. And keep in mind, he knows I'm a Bears fan, so that makes it a little bit funnier. So he wanted to trade me Justin Fields, Terry McLaurin, and Drake London for Matthew Stafford, Justin Jefferson, and Breece Hall.
You want my grade?
Grade the trade. Should I do it? Oh, sorry, Uncle Tomas. Better luck next time, dude.
We gotta get him on the show. I feel like he's like this elusive, uncle that we gotta get on the show.
No, Uncle Tomas is great. He's a great guy. He's actually he's a retired school teacher, but during the Cubs run, he went to one of the Cubs final or during the World Series, and his students were like, I guess he had a contest. If they read so many books or something like that, they could design his beard. And They shaved half his beard and then dyed it blue and red, and he wore it to the Cubs game. It took pictures and the whole nine.
No
So,
way.
Uncle Tomas, cheers to you, dude. Awesome
Cheers to
guy.
you.
Awesome,
Cheers to
awesome
you.
guy. So appreciate it. Anyways, moving on. So that sucks about Justin Jefferson. Other news, just obviously Fields and Moore had a monster game on Thursday Night Football. Sorry to all the phony homies that actually went with JC's stud defense of the game with Washington. I played a guy who actually got -1 point, dude. So whoopsies.
Yeah.
But it happens, man. It's fantasy. You never know what's going to happen. But long story short, if you did wear the brass underwear and started Fields and Moore, throw it in the chat if you won your league this week. I won 2. Won 2 of my leagues 2 weeks or whatever. I won this week. All right, around 2 of my teams won this week. It was huge. It was awesome. I hope they keep it going. Next on the big news. Are the Bengals back, JC?
I think the Bengals are back, and there's one reason why. DL?
I would say it's because Jamar Chase put his money where his mouth is. He said, I am always open. And what happened? He had a monster game. He had 19 targets, 15 receptions, 192 yards, and yes, 1, 2, 3 tutties, dude. Tutties. It was nuts.
Hey, question. Yeah. How do you say the number 3? With your hands, if you had to put up a 3, what would you do? Interesting. Did you know that if you do it a certain way, it's the German way? Yes, correct. That is the German way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on.
You know why I asked that?
I'm asking you, do you think the Bengals are back? Do you think they're like...
Yeah, you gave me the wrong answer, by the way. It was a multiple choice question. And you could have said head coach. You could have said Jamar Chase. You could have said Joe Mixon. But the right answer was answer D, Joe Burrow. And he's finally healthy. That's it. If you have a real Joe Burrow, if you have a healthy Joe Burrow, a guy who can move around in the pocket with a bad to mediocre offensive line, a guy who's one of the top 3 or 4 most talented quarterbacks in the league, who can take you to a Super Bowl by his damn self. Yeah, they're back because I think he's finally healthy. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they do.
Which gets me excited because I have T. Higgins. So we'll see. It's got to be a minute.
Great buy low candidate, by the
way.
Oh. We'll get now for probably 65 to 70 cents on the dollar.
True. Yeah. And you could trade away who would you trade away? Would you trade away like a Garrett Wilson? Would you trade? I mean, is that a good trade? Garrett Wilson for T. Higgins?
That's an interesting way to go. I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to tell you guys, the phony homies, the kind of tools I use when I'm interested in making a trade. Okay. I try to make it something level. I try to make it an even playing field because I feel like trades are difficult. Some guy might value this guy up here, and I might value a guy here, and you never really know. You never really meet eye to eye. So I try to use a system where, to me at least, it's non-biased. I try to use what's called a trade value chart. Now, there are a bunch of different fantasy football experts that make these trade value charts, but I use them and they give players trade values. They give each player a score, up to 40 or 50, depending on how good they've been. I'd like to show it to you guys. It is CBS. Now, the person that uses CBS or creates it is Dave Richard. He's been fantastic.
I like him.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I'm a big fan of Dave Richard. He's from Chicago, by the way. He's just a local guy here.
Yeah.
But basically what he does is he gives players valuations. Dale, I'm not sure if you're able to pull it up while I keep going. But basically what he does is he'll say, hey, Davante Adams is this week, his value is 25. And then he'll say, oh, CeeDee Lamb this week is a 22. So if you were to offer Davante Adams for CeeDee Lamb, it's kind of close, but I'd give it to Davante because he's worth a little more this week. Kind of a way to explain it, a way to go about it. It's interesting that we're even going over this because, there's some trades that have been offered. One of them, by chance, is from a buddy of mine. His name is Billy, and he offered me Davante Adams. Now, in this trade, he asked for 2 players in return. He did ask for DJ Moore, who's coming off a monster night, and he asked for Roshan Johnson. Now, according to this valuation system that we're going over, this CBS trade value chart, basically, I don't know if you guys could see it. Let's see if I can. Too white. Anyway, basically, these players have these values. They have Devontae Adams valued at a 29. Okay, a 29. They have on this system DJ Moore valued at 25, and then Roshan Johnson, which is the other guy that Billy wanted from me. He wanted Moore and Johnson. They have Roshan Johnson valued at I remember, you might start this week, a 7. So it's close. It's close. It's a deal that I might do. Who knows? But a fair offer nonetheless. And it kind of gives you a parameter, a way to really look at these deals. I would suggest it highly. It's not the only way you go about making trades, but I think it's a useful tool.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to share it. Bear with me, phony homies. I'm learning as I go.
Thank you, stud producer DL.
But is this what you're talking about? Can you?
Yeah, CBS trade value chart would be.
Is this it?
Let's see.
Are you seeing it or no?
I can't see Jack.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
No worries, we'll get there.
It's saying it's shared, but it's not sharing. It's not shared, is it?
You're good.
Oh, wait. Nope. Here we go. Okay.
Hey, all right. Let's talk about the trade we just mentioned. So Billy, my buddy Billy.
Okay.
Billy Big Bill. He offered me Devontae Adams, the one player he's trading to me, and he asked for DJ Moore. And he asked for Roshan Johnson. So let's go to the receivers and let's take a look at the valuation for Devontae Adams. You can scroll down. He's I think it's like the second column.
Okay.
The running backs and keep going right there. Receivers.
There you go. Okay.
So let's look at Devontae Adams. There he is. Valuation in a PPR league, 33. Okay. 33. So now let's look at the guys that he wants from me. He wants DJ Moore. So I'm taking 33 and subtract from there. He wants DJ Moore, which what are they valuing him at? As a 29. 29. And then he wants Roshan Johnson. Running back. You can scroll up. Roshan Johnson's one of the bottom. Keep going. He's right. Keep going a little more. Right there. There he is. 8. So basically, I'm giving up about a -4. It's kind of like the tool that ESPN uses. Kind of. I don't like that tool. I think a lot of people in our leagues use that tool when they make a trade. And I think that tool sucks. Honestly, when I make trades, I take advantage of some people. I hate to say it when I send out trades because I know the value of a player.
Yeah.
And sometimes ESPN will have.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days.
Yeah,
I remember 2 years ago.
Sorry. And then you offer an 89 for a guy who's an 84, who has way more opportunity, way more like snap counts, who's going to produce because the backup's no good. So that tool sucks. What I would urge you to do is use a tool like this, a trade value chart, because it will really help you with trade values. Now, one of the guys I see that's watching here is Robbie Rose. He is notoriously the worst trader in all the leagues I'm ever in. He makes the worst offers I've ever seen. And he's one of those kinds of traders that wants an asset from you, but it's not going to give you anything that makes sense for you. When you make a trade, guys, you have to offer something that you think the other team needs. So if this guy has a terrible tight end, like, I don't know, many people do, like I do. Kyle Pitts is my tight end. I don't really have a tight end. But you got 2. You got Dallas Goedert, and then you got Cole Kmet. You can give one of them up, Give me a tight end, and of course I'll give you one of my 4 running backs. It makes sense. Help me help you. Give me a starter for a starter. Let's make it work, And that's how you make trades.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, the hardest thing about trading is that you always feel like you're losing out. Or in my case, I always feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick. And you got to really one of the tools I use Fantasy Pros, where they actually do the trade analyzer. And then it kind of shows you the position wise of where you would be. Like, for example, Rudd this past week offered me Puka Nacua for DJ Moore, and there was somebody else. There was like one over in Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh,
so not a bad, honestly, not bad. But this was before Cooper Kupp played and all of that. So my whole thing of holding back was do I honestly give up DJ Moore, right? Which I don't want to. Obviously, I'm a homer. And to trade for Puka Nacua, and I'm already stacked at running back. I got David Montgomery. I got Christian McCaffrey. I mean, yeah, Isaiah Pacheco, not a bad grab. However, I don't need him. give me something that I need. If he would have like salted it in with like maybe 2, like maybe Puka Nacua and like I don't know who's the other number 2 on Philly. I always forget his name.
Devontae Smith. Yeah.
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 Okay, I'd probably pull that trigger because I'm getting a little bit better of a deal, and he's getting. I mean,
he's overpaying in that.
Yeah, he is overpaying.
Like, to give you an example, though, if he would have offered you another running back like an Alexander Madison or just a guy, then maybe you'd pull a trigger. Maybe you'd do it. Maybe.
Yeah, especially the bye weeks coming up. Okay, like I'll take a Allison.
Yeah,
Madison.
I'm a big fan of trading 2 60-cent players for $1 because you're not going to start 2 60-cent players. You're going to start the $1 guy and then start another guy after that. Like I'm a big fan of trading 2 for 1 if you can. And we're getting to the time frame where you can start doing that. Where people start getting desperate. Where people are, 1-4 or whatever the records are.
4-5.
4-5, and they need to win. And they only have Tyreek on their team. All right, give me your Tyreek, and then I'll give you my DJ Moore, my Romeo Dubs, and my Roshan Johnson.
Dubs.
Done.
Yeah, I would say, and just to put a bow on this, like timing is everything. Like, why would you offer a trade after DJ Moore went off? Like, you would have to sell everything to get me excited. Now, maybe 2 weeks ago when, Puka Nacua was like the guy and DJ Moore wasn't, obviously I would pull that trigger, right? So timing is everything. And don't try to outsmart somebody and try to get cute with it. Like, oh, here you go. Like, you're an idiot. I don't think you, come on. Anyways. I know we played a lot.
Yeah, no worries. I like the segment. I like the little piece. But DL, it's time. I think, what's that? That's the doc. I think the doc is it's time to go to the injuries.
Okay.
And listen, this past week has been a crazy week filled with tons of guys coming out of nowhere. But for them to come out of nowhere, there had to have been somebody going down or somebody getting demoted. And there have been injuries. It's time to go over and talk to our resident doctor. He flies in every week from all across the nation. What's up, Doc? Where are you flying in from this week?
Minnesota.
Minnesota? What are you doing in Minnesota?
I don't know if you guys heard.
Were you wearing a football helmet before the segment?
Listen. Yes, JC. I was actually flying my helicopter. We wear a helmet.
Oh, okay. You wear helmets like you're skateboarding. That makes sense.
I had a friggin' drop my great nice helicopter in this Downers grave bullshit. Anyways, I was in Minnesota, and don't be commenting on my hair or anything like that. It's a fashion show. I'm in a basement doing a podcast for free. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear.
You're wrong, Doc. Before we get into the injuries, I wanted to send a shout out to Robbie Rose. I kind of shit on him last segment, but I want to let him know, love you, Robbie. I appreciate you for always watching. Now, Doc, there have been some big injuries this year. One of them that happened this past week happened to Arizona running back James Conner. I'm hearing some rumblings that he might be gone a few weeks. What are you hearing, Doc?
I'm hearing that Coach Jonathan Gannon said Monday that Conner could be in line to miss a little bit of time. So I heard the same thing. Yeah, with a knee injury, you never know what's going on. It doesn't seem like he tore an ACL or MCL. I do think they're going to rest him up because they're trying to tank. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they're trying to tank for sure.
No doubt. I could see it. Starting
bad.
Yeah, I could see it, Doc. Doc, let's go close to home. Chicago had a really big game on Thursday against the Commanders, and there was a specific play where Fields threw a dump pass to Khalil Herbert. We remember it vividly, Doc, because I saw you on the sideline in the video. I saw you.
Yeah, I was there. I was and
you were the first one to rush over to Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, I had money on the game.
Yeah, he kind of got twisted. Okay, interesting. He kind of twisted his ankle up a little bit, and it was interesting. What kind of diagnosis do you have? What's going on with Khalil Herbert?
DC 23-5. I'm here. I would say this. Khalil Herbert came off. It didn't look like it was a serious injury. He even told me that honestly he felt good. He felt great, but I think it was adrenaline. My diagnosis is this is a little bit more severe because it is a high ankle sprain.
Mhm.
Um, I, I I see the Bears moving forward and putting him actually on the IR. There
Oh,
is a rumor.
really? So he's gonna
There
miss
is a
4
rumor.
games, Doc.
Could miss 4 weeks. So if you got Rojo, fire him up.
I like that. I like that. Well, how do you
Thank
feel about
you.
Dante
I am a
Foreman?
doctor. Devontae Foreman, I think, is a good maybe backup, but I really see Rojo being the
Mm,
guy
I like it.
because he runs fierce. He's got something to prove. Foreman's collecting a check. Me and him go way back. He's just riding it out until he can hang out with me on an island
On
somewhere.
a boat somewhere.
Anyways,
Cool,
yeah.
cool. Let's go over to Denver. What's going on in Denver with looks like Javonte Williams?
Yeah, Javonte Williams didn't play this past week. It was kind of weird because they said originally he had a hip flexor and then it went to his quad. So it's a little bit of both, you know. He didn't play last week, but however, he was limited participant on Denver's estimated practice. This NFL, can't say it's official. I gotta say it's estimate. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's definitely something that I don't know if you're talking to your girlfriend, but it is definitely something that to monitor throughout the week because he is playing Thursday night football. Do you want me to tell the producer to cut you out after you ask your question so you can get smoochy?
Oh, I asked for a cookie.
Oh man, where's my cookie? Oh, actually, where do you live? Maybe I'll just come to your house and do
No, there's no
it
helipad
there.
here. Sorry, there's no helipad here. Doc, what's going on in Houston? Wide receiver Tank Dell isn't a tank. Apparently, he's not made of metal. What's going on with him?
Well, first I want to talk about Detroit's Lions running or wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is kind of crazy because he's been dealing with like a turf toe, or they said a turf toe, but he was actually out last Sunday dealing with an abdominal injury. And we're still trying to wait and see. Obviously, he's a huge addition to that offense. But yeah, I would say it's kind of feeling like a multi-week kind of thing because I think it's his rib. I don't think it's just like, he pulled an ab. I think it's actually his rib. But to answer your other question about Tank Dell, he actually did go into percussion protocol. Here's the thing about that, the concussion protocol, that is, it really depends on the players. Some players go through it real quickly, no issues. Some players actually may be out for a couple of weeks. So this happened in my league. I've been picking up this foosball fantasy that you guys do. And somebody dropped Tank Dell, and I grabbed him. Yes, I did.
Nice. I like that. It's a good move.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't even listen.
You've been listening to the show. I can tell.
No, I don't. Okay, moving on. Sad day. And I know, what was his name? Ben, that loser, who had Anthony Richardson. Coach Shane Steichen confirmed Monday that Richardson is dealing with a shoulder. And it's not just a shoulder, it's actually the AC joint sprain, and it will miss some time. This fool has been injured every week. It's either a concussion, an ankle, now it's his shoulder. Okay, I don't know why. He's trying to. I get it. You're a rookie, but hey, you're no use to any team if you're always hanging out with me. Okay, let's just put it that way. They're just gonna cut your ass. Moving on. Jacksonville's Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones is dealing with a knee and is undergoing an MRI. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how that shakes out. Anytime you hear MRI on a knee, not good.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, big deal.
Huge.
I talked to Taylor Swift. I was there consulting her. Just consulting.
You mean consoling, Doc? I know.
That too.
Your song suits.
Listen to the new album. You'll understand. Anyways, Kelsey left the game on Sunday with an ankle injury, but came back. So taped up the ankle. It was kind of a weird injury because if you were watching that game, which I was because I was hanging out with Taylor and Kelsey's mom, very nice lady, very, very nice. She's very nice. Anywho, he just went down. Like nobody touched him, and that's very concerning. Especially he's a little older. I think a lot of people don't realize like he's kind of on the other side, if you will. So seeing him go down, it was kind of scary, but he did come back into the game. The major concern is that Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos are actually playing this Thursday night in a tilt game.
Doc, he practiced today.
I was going to get there. Thanks for just ruining my build-up like you normally do. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, go ahead. You want to do the rest of the injuries? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead. Who's the next player, Doc?
No, you got
He leaves me hanging. It's okay. So Travis Kelce is going to be dealing with this injury. We don't know how long it's going to take. What Doc doesn't realize is I read his show notes.
Daniel Jones. Yeah.
No.
Why do you read ahead? Like you just ruin it. I had this great build-up. I've been practicing all week. This is like the hottest injury, and you're just like, oh, he participated this week.
I was letting you know in case
Like,
you didn't see. I knew you were in flight.
Right.
No. You were in flight.
What do you mean I didn't see? What do you mean I didn't see?
You were flying.
Why don't you wait until I say? Why didn't you wait until I was like, oh, we'll see how it shakes out, and then you could have been like, well, dog, I heard it. No, you have to be cool, Mr. Cool Guy.
Doc, let me ask you a real question.
No. Okay, go ahead.
You ready? Do you know how old Gronk is?
It's 36.
34. Let me ask you another question.
Okay, you're gonna go through the tight ends and how old they are, and Travis Kelce's on the older spectrum. Go ahead. I can't read your phone. I don't know why you do
34. 34.
Okay, cool.
34.
Your point. What's your point?
They're both the same age. It's crazy, isn't it?
Okay, moving on. Here's a big one. Try not to bury the lead this time. We got Miami Dolphins running back Devontae Achane. Dude was going off.
Achane, you're close.
I don't know why you guys want to listen to him chew into a microphone anyway. So Achane is actually dealing with a knee injury that he's stated on Sunday's night win over the Giants. So not looking good. He's going to miss a couple of weeks. Not on the IR yet. Next, we got Daniel Jones, a QB for the Giants, is dealing with a neck injury. But, however, head coach Brian Dable said Monday that the Giants are optimistic that Jones will be available for Sunday's matchup against the Bills. The biggest news, hence why I didn't bring back JC, because he usually jumps the gun and ruins it for everyone. New York's quarterback, Karen, a.k.a. Aaron Rodgers, said on the Pat McAfee show, this is what he said. When he's talking about his Achilles, he said, well, he's ahead of the normal protocols and remains optimistic that he will be able to return to action before the conclusion of 2023 season, which is crazy. There's normal, but how am I attacking rehab? Rodgers said. The common practice is about 6 weeks in a boot, and I was in a shoe in 13 days. Let me tell you something, phony homies. That's nuts. I mean, I don't even understand why he even bothers playing in the NFL. He should just like start his own practice, maybe actually go to, like maybe go to the same school that I went to, medical school, himself. But anyways, that's about it. We're going to like hop over to the waiver wire real quick. Maybe I'll let JC out. No, just kidding. I see him. He's like done eating his cookies. So
I'm crying,
go ahead.
I'm
go
crying
ahead, dude. Yeah, okay.
What you don't know is Aaron Rodgers went to the school of Joe Rogan, and he's doing ayahuasca, and it's helping him heal. Just kidding. That didn't happen. But he does do ayahuasca, and yeah. Athletes are superhuman. These athletes, to get to this point, have bodies that are different than you and I. We're just regular Joe Schmoes. We're just a bunch of schmucks. Athletes heal way faster. So don't ever compare yourself to an athlete when you got an ankle sprain. Oh, I was out for 4 weeks. No. You're not a super athlete. But it does not surprise me to see that Aaron Rodgers is in a shoe already. He's probably trying to force the issue because, he's a little prima donna. He's a little, But Yeah, he might come back. How effective is he going to be? I don't know. We kind of seen how Joe Burrow did with the lower leg injury and how he played. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers does. Moving on, it's time to go to the waivers. And DL, I know he's back. I know the doctor left. DL went for a smoke break. Who knows where he went? He doesn't smoke cigs, so I don't know. I don't know. But
I had to consult him. You really stuck it to. He was really excited about that, man. He called me early. He was like, "I want to get on the Swifty and Kelsey thing and this and that." And I don't know if he's gonna ever come back, bro.
I heard the doc has.
I don't know
for the new T Swift Travis Kelsey album. What
No,
was called Rugburn? I don't know if you saw Rugburn.
No, honestly, like he was really excited because Swifty, if you will, has really helped Travis Kelsey's career. Like
How so?
I mean, that's what he said. I don't think so, but
He's got
he
knee
was really
injuries,
excited
so
about
what
that.
is he doing in his off time?
I don't know. I'm just saying you pissed him off pretty bad.
Did you see the video though? The footage, the picture of Taylor Swift's knees, like all scratched up. Oh man,
no, I don't
I'm not gonna say nothing, but
care.
Okay.
Anyways, we're going on the waiver.
Yeah, let's go to the waivers. DL, we'll start off with the running back position. We'll fly through
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, jerk.
Sorry, producer extraordinaire.
Yeah. You're.
We had that clip already, ready to go, racked up.
I did. You just jumped right into it, like you just jump into other stuff. Go ahead. Yep. Let's go ahead with running backs. Go ahead, bro. You got it.
Championship like last year. But let's start at the running back position. We will go over to Broncos running back Jaleel McLaughlin. In the arms of an angel. All right, so Jaleel McLaughlin has scored 3 touchdowns through the first 5 weeks of the NFL season. Let's be real. That's a big number for a guy who didn't really get any percentage of the snap share going into week 3. What I would say about Jaleel McLaughlin is if he is available, which he shouldn't be in your competitive leagues, because if you're watching, you're probably in a very competitive league. If he's available, he's carving out a role, and he's going to have, some fantasy appeal moving forward. I would tell you if he's available, go get him. I wouldn't spend a ton of fab budget, but 10, $11 out of 100, I think that's a fair amount. Next guy we're going to recommend is a guy I think he's one of the more valuable running backs available this week. Roschon Johnson. Rojo is rostered in 11% of fantasy leagues going into today. ESPN reporter Tom Pelissero is reporting that Khalil Herbert, also our resident doc, Khalil Herbert is expected to miss multiple weeks because of his ankle injury he suffered against the Commanders. Let's talk. I think Rojo takes the job and runs with it. I think having Khalil gone really puts the spotlight on him, and I think he shines. I think he can catch the ball better than Khalil. I think he's just as good, if not a better, pass blocker as Khalil. And as far as running goes, Khalil gets to see the holes a little better, but Roschon hits them harder. So with a little more seasoning, a little more opportunity, I definitely think Roschon Johnson could supplant Khalil Herbert. So if he's available, I'd spend $40 Just saying. Next guy we're going to recommend is D'Onta Foreman. He's another Chicago Bear. He's rostered in 2% of leagues. I think Roschon's already supplanted him in the pecking order, as seen by the touches and the snap share that they get. I think D'Onta Foreman is a guy who you could probably spend, $7 to $10 on fantasy-wise. And he will only really be a factor for, 2-3 weeks, splitting a few of the carries, probably, I'm going to guess a 60-40 split between Roschon and D'Onta Foreman. But a guy who should have some usage. Another very interesting name this week, Amari DiMercado. Now, he's rostered in 0% of fantasy leagues. No one knows him unless you're playing in a Arizona Cardinal-only league. But DiMercado was an undrafted rookie who played behind Kendre Miller at TCU. Now, with James Conner going down, I think he is going to, it's next man up. It's his opportunity now to see what he can do. We're going to find out next week. A guy that you should spend a few, fab budget bones on. I think he could definitely take, some snaps away when James Conner comes back. Not to say he's going to be the guy, but depending on the severity of the injury, with James Conner, I could see DeMarcado being a guy who you could start at flex, and see what he can do. You never know. You never know. Keep in mind, the Cardinals are tanking. Now, the last guy I'm going to recommend DL is Jeff Wilson, who is 45% rostered.
Jeff.
Yeah, my name's Jeff. Now, there's a little bit of a trend here. The majority of the players I'm going to recommend are running backs because they're hard to come by, and there's a lot of action going on at the running back position. Now, Jeff Wilson is a guy I'm going to recommend for a few reasons. The first being that Devon Achane is gone. He's hurt, and we don't know the severity of that injury. He's going to be gone for a few weeks. Now, the doc said we don't know, but, with the opportunity opening, it looks like it's a 50-50 split. Jeff Wilson Jr. is probably going to get 10 to 14 touches, and Raheem Mostert will probably get 14 to 16 touches. That's my guess. I'm not going to lie to you or sugarcoat it. Raheem Mostert is a straight line speed guy, and Jeff Wilson's more of a catch the ball and go kind of guy, third down running back, if you will. I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is very talented. It wouldn't surprise me if he became the touch dominator, if he started getting 60% of the touches. Would not surprise me whatsoever. DL, I'm going to jump over to the wide receiver position. I don't have a
Wait. Breaking news.
Yeah.
I was just offered a trade because I think we have some people watching.
Oh, I love it.
Grade the trade.
Literally
what we just said.
Take that deal. If you get Puka and Devontae Smith, you take that deal.
Okay.
You don't question it. You take that deal and run.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to say, he's stacking because he's got Fields.
You're getting let him stack. Who cares?
Okay, just
you get a wide receiver, a high-end wide receiver, low-end wide receiver. Okay, let me rephrase. Legit wide receiver 2 in Devontae Smith with wide receiver 1 upside. And then I think Puka is a flex play with wide receiver 2 upside.
But what about DJ Moore? I mean, obviously he's the number one.
I think he's the wide receiver 1 after this week, but I think there's not going to be – okay, let's be real. They literally single-man coveraged him the entire
They're going to double his ass.
Yeah, he's going to get bracket coverage, and he's not going to get another 200-yard game. That'll never happen the rest of the year. So, yeah, you run that, and you hope that your 2 guys outperform him because they more likely will. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Let's jump over to the wide receiver position where there's a few guys I'm going to recommend this week. The first being Josh Downs. Now, the diminutive receiver is only 2% rostered in fantasy. Although he's small, he has a tremendous amount of upside. He reminds me of like a Tyler Lockett kind of receiver, like a Kadarius Toney, but the good flashes of Kadarius Toney kind of guy. He could have serious flex appeal the rest of the year in certain matchups, depending on who the coverage corner is that week. If he has a shutdown corner, not so much. But if he's playing against the Commanders or playing against the Broncos, teams that don't have great shutdown corners, I really like Josh Downs. Another guy I'm going to go ahead and recommend is Rashee Rice. Now, if you've been watching the Chiefs, the talent is there. You could see it. He looks the part. Rashee Rice is 7% rostered, and he seems to have the best chemistry at the wide receiver position with Pat Mahomes. There are just 11 players in the entire NFL with more yards per route run, so the distance they're going, than him. That means that they really are using him in packages where he's going deep. He's taking deep slants or deep outs. I think it's only a matter of time before that chemistry really shows on the field and he starts producing. The last guy I'm going to recommend, DL, is KJ Osborne. He's only rostered in
Wait, I'm sorry. I just got to jump in real quick because just going back to actually Rashee Rice, he was a lot of people were targeting him last week.
Mm-hmm.
So is he the next man up? Like, is he gonna is he a sneaky stash, or is this somebody you're gonna start this week?
Oh, I don't know if I'm starting him yet, but
okay.
I don't know. He's kind of in between. Yeah, he's kind of in between. I'm not starting him, but if I'm in a very deep league, which I'm in a few 16-man leagues with really deep rosters, then maybe, yeah. But I think he's a guy you should add, and he should be on most rosters right now. And if he's not, go get him. Go get him. Last guy I'm going to recommend to you is KJ Osborne, like we were saying. He's only 2% rostered, but Justin Jefferson going down and, the severity up in the air, he's going to be on IR. He's the next man up. And you know what we say? Fantasy football is an opportunity business, and he's going to have all the opportunities.
So you would take him over Jordan Anderson, right? I mean, that's the
Addison?
My bad. Jordan
I don't
Addison.
know. Yeah, I think he's gonna. Jordan Addison plays a different position, whereas KJ
Smaller,
Osborne,
smaller dude.
Yeah. So one guy plays the X, one guy plays the Y. Basically, one is a slot guy, and the other guy plays the possession receiver, who just gets more touches and more looks usually. I think KJ Osborne just has a better chemistry with Cousins. I think he can play a little bit of that Justin Jefferson role, whereas Jordan Addison doesn't really play that role. Go ahead.
Here's my conspiracy theory, and it's just
tank?
that. No. Here's what I think what they're looking at is like Kirk Cousins is what, on his last year of his deal?
Yeah, yes, he
right?
is.
Whoever wins this game between the Bears and Minnesota, literally, if they lose, their season somewhat is done, right? Because they're just going to be 1-5, right? So I just feel in my realm is that like they're gonna see what this rookie can do because they did so much going after him, and I just really honestly think that they're gonna see what this kid can do, right? Because maybe they're trying to get the upside of actually getting maybe they're gonna play the lottery, maybe they're gonna actually go and try to get an actual franchise quarterback. Because let's be honest, Kirk Cousins doesn't really matter. He's got a clause in his contract that is a no trade clause, right? And there's no way they're going to move him this week. So I feel, or not this week, this year, right? I think at the end of his year, that's when he'll get his options and what have you. But honestly, if you're asking me, I don't know. I think either one of them would be like a sneaky stash. But I really like Jordan Addison. I mean, there's a reason why they drafted him. They want to see what they have. Because even with Justin Jefferson himself, that's got to be an opportunity, honestly, where they can see what they got and like roll the dice and see like, okay, should we like go after some more trade picks and what have you? Anyways, long story short, I think both would be a really good one. I do agree with JC. I think that honestly, KJ Osborne would be the better of the pick. So, all right, just kind of moving on from that. Tight ends. I'm the tight end guy. Just a reminder, phony homies, the teams that are on bye this week are Green Bay and the Steelers. So I don't think you're really hurt unless you have Musgrave. Unless you had Logan Musgrave on one of your guys, or no, I'm saying it's Musgrave. Anyway, Mike Musgrave, who knows? Anyways, long story short, this week I'm going to go ahead and recommend Logan Thomas again for the Commanders. He's 12% owned. It looks like Sam Howell was like really targeting him on Thursday Night Football tilt. I think that will continue. The Commanders are actually going up against Atlanta, who gives up the second most points to the tight end position. So if you're needing somebody, if you just want to take a break, if Kyle Pitts, well, he had a good game, but I think he's definitely streamable. I would say most of these guys that I'm about to recommend are streamable. The next one I would recommend is Tyler Conklin. Didn't give up on you guys. Did not give up. Went for it. Did not give up on you. Anyways, tight end, obviously 12% rostered. He didn't. It's not the best week to kind of go against him to grab him and start him because he is going against Philly. However, Philly gives up the third most points to tight ends, and especially with their actually run defense or their front run rush, right? I think honestly he's gonna have to give up the ball real quick. So obviously they're gonna shut down.
I don't need anything crazy.
Okay, not ready yet. So anyways, long story short, Tyler Conklin I think would be great because he might be one of those guys for the check down pass or trying to get it out really far. You never know. He may break one or two and hopefully a TD. Here's a dart throw. Obviously with Travis Kelce kind of being I wouldn't say up and down because, as JC mentioned, he has been practicing. So I think I agree with JC. I think he's going to be good to go with Kansas City for the Thursday night tilt. But I had Noah Gray on here, 2% rostered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do use it similarly. Yeah, if Kelsey's out, he's a guy who could.
If Kelsey's out, that would be somebody that I would think would be a great like replacement if you have him. But honestly, it's really gonna just depend on the practice and what have you. Even though he's practicing, you never know. He could have a setback or what have you. But honestly, the fact that he came back to the game, he went to the locker room, he fell down. It looked bad. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I think half the country's like, no, Kelsey.
Yeah.
But since he is practicing, I wouldn't like spend a lot of fab on this. I wouldn't really like have him number one, but who knows? Kelsey.
Yeah,
he's never missed. When was the last time he missed a game? I think it's been years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I couldn't tell you when the last time was offhand, but
okay,
he's a pretty consistent guy to play. He plays if he can.
Either way, the way I look at it, if for whatever reason, if he is going down, and maybe this is like a late grab, maybe you don't put it in tonight, but like after tonight where you don't have to like stand in line or use your fab,
take out, right?
Yeah, just kind of grab and see what happens. Roll the dice and see what happens. Okay. Anyways, moving on to the QBs. Not too many like exciting guys here. Once again, Green Bay and the Steelers are on a bye. So if you had Jordan Love or Kyle Pitts, who by the way did you see that? Kyle Pitts like threw it downfield to Pickens and it was an amazing touchdown, right? But they panned the camera over to the offensive coordinator and he didn't call that play. He was pissed. Everyone around him was like, yeah. And he's just like, I didn't call that. Anyways, moving on. So if you have one of those guys, here's some guys that you may want to consider. Gardner Minshew. I know, weird. I mentioned this. He's 1% roster. I know this is a reach, but I like to kind of give a little bit of variety because I'm sure you guys probably Google and all that fun stuff. But the reason why I picked Minshew is just because of this purpose. Number one, he's a vet, right? Number two, if you watch that game, he's spreading the ball, which if you got Pittman or someone like that, maybe you're not too excited about that. But I think he's getting the wide receiver the ball, which is exciting. And who I think they're going up against Jacksonville Jaguars, which are a pretty stout D. So this might be a guy that you want to roll with in a streaming category if you have nobody else. I think he's a decent streamer. My next guy I would say is Derek Carr. He's 24% roster. He's got kind of a uphill battle this week, but he's got weapons around him, right? Which is making him very tempting. He's got two great wide receivers, right? You got Thomas, you got Olave. And then don't forget, Alvin Kamara is back. So I see a lot of check down plays that are going to get yak this week. So might not be a bad streaming option. If you're hurting, last but not least, dart throw, Hail Mary. If you decided to draft Dak Prescott and you just don't have a good backup, Bryce Young, Carolina.
Ooh, interesting.
I know, right? I get you. I know. This is kind of crazy, but the Panthers wide receivers were finally healthy. And Young scored his second highest fantasy points at 18.2 points in the fourth quarter. So obviously it's going to be garbage time. I don't think, this is going to be one of those, if you do decide to go with him, you do decide to draft him, you got to wait to garbage time because I don't think he's just all of a sudden going to just like ball out.
Yeah.
But deeper leagues might not be a bad option, especially with Dak just sucking. So
yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Dion, before we wrap the show up, let's go over to your studs and duds. Who are you projecting this week to have big weeks?
Well, real quick though, any defenses that you're excited about this week?
Yeah, there's one of them that I am excited about. It's the Chiefs defense because they're going up against the Broncos.
Okay, I would go with Detroit myself. My studs and duds for this week, I'm going to go with tight end Sam Laporta.
Ooh, I like him.
Dude is balling out. Honestly, he's my backup in one of my leagues. I started Andrews over him, right? Andrews got 65 yards. Sam Laporta got I want to say 2 touchdowns and was just going off. The Detroit Lions were like just running a clinic. So
Yeah.
I don't think that goes down. I think he's
Maybe
legit.
it's time to trade Andrews.
Huh?
Maybe it's time to trade Andrews. You could probably get a haul.
You probably could, honestly.
As your backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really use Laporta.
Wow, dude. That's actually.
You're not going to get what Laporta's worth, but I know you'll get more for Andrews because of the name recognition.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because he's the second best tight end in fantasy, I would say.
Mhm.
Anyways, so that's my stud for this week. I would say my dud of this week.
Mhm.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your stud? My bad.
Yeah, sure. No worries. My studs this week, I have a few. I already said the Chiefs defense against the Broncos. The next that I'm going to recommend is Jalen Waddle against the Carolina Panthers. I just think that it's time to have a Jalen Waddle game. Nothing more than that. I'm kind of a baseball guy in my head. If you strike out 7 times, you're due to get 3 hits after that if you're a 300 hitter. So I think it's Jalen Waddle time, and it's time to do a little waddle, The next stud I have, and the final one I have, is Justin Fields against Minnesota. I just think Minnesota's going to roll over.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're in tank mode. Yeah.
Okay, but the thing with the defense, they're like one of the defense that honestly like blitz more than any other defense.
Here, let me give you something else. Kirk Cousins is going to get traded before the end of the trade deadline. I think Kirk Cousins is gone.
Did you hear my thing? I don't think he does. I think he's got a no clause though. You can't trade him. He's got a no clause. In my mind,
you got to get something for him before you lose him. So
I don't think he can't. He can't trade him,
man. They're going to want one of Drake May or Caleb Williams. I think it's time.
Okay, we shall see. We shall see on that. All right, cool. So hopping over to our duds for me, Dak Prescott. If you haven't noticed, been kind of like just poo-pooing on him. I just like I don't know, man. Like I every year it's the same thing. You think this is gonna be Dak's year? He's got weapons around him. You got this and that. Like I just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
haven't seen it against like really good teams. I think the only thing that are keeping the Cowboys relevant is the defense. So, I think he's gonna have a piss poor game against any team that's actually decent or over 500.
Sure.
I think he's going to clean house on the ones that are like, the Denver Broncos or Bears, guys like that. But that's my dud.
All right, my duds real quickly. Jerome Ford against the 49ers.
Ooh.
Just a quick
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then whatever running back plays for Buffalo for the Giants against Buffalo, whether it's Breida or Saquon or a combination of both, I don't think they'll be that effective against the Buffalo Bills. That defense is killer. Killer DL.
Which is kind of crazy because Saquon has been on that questionable list for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, he's gonna play. He's not gonna play. He's gonna play. He's not gonna play. That's kind of
sucks for fans.
Well, that's just like an NFL team trying to pull what they do in hockey. He's got a lower leg injury or upper body injury. You never really know what it is or how long it's gonna take. It's just gamesmanship.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, DL. That's it for today's episode, Phony Homies. Remember, as always, if you have any start or sit questions, send them to us via Twitter by using the hashtag
Ask Us FFG, or just tweet us directly at tweetffg.
Either one works. We'll love to answer your start sit questions, whatever you have. Should I start, Rashi Rice, or should I start Josh Downs? We'll tell you. We'll answer that for you.
Good call.
What more do you want? You can also send us any questions if you don't use Twitter by sending them to our email, DL.
AskUsFFG@gmail.com.
Or you can leave us your fantasy questions to our voicemail. It is only one phone number, and who knows, you might get me live. I might answer it and tell you in person, what to do. But DL, what is that phone number?
Real-time advice. That's kind of cool. 708-655-4508.
Yes, sir. As always, thank you for tuning in, Phony Homies. We appreciate you. We love you guys. At some point, we're going to do a giveaway of something, a jersey or something. It's going to happen. It's coming up. Maybe it's a Chinese jersey off of DH Gate or something. You never know.
Take half a year to get here, but you'll get it, guys.
You'll get it by week 14. There you go. If you order it today, you'll get it by week 14 of next year. But anyways, thanks, DL, as always, for your mediocre fantasy advice and running the boards. You killing it, learning everything as we go.
Finally.
For DL, I'm JC. We'll catch you guys again on another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guys show. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And
smash
the notification button. Peace.
Peace. Good luck.